Is it yeah, it's recording. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Logan.
I'm Wilson.
And we're doing a project on nuclear power plants.
Yeah, a lot of people have a bad stigma towards nuclear power plants, but we're going to tell you it has a lot more advantages than disadvantages compared to other forms of electricity generation.
You screwed up the first line, Wilson.
How did I screw up the
You screwed up. Mr. Sopo, is it too late to change partners?
A lot of people have negative stereotypes about nuclear power plants. Most of the time, people think it's going to have some major incident, but the chances of that are actually very, very, very low.
A nuclear power plant generally needs about 1 car per year, 18 months to power itself. So, for fossil fuels, you'll need about, 1.4 million tons of coals, which is equal to about 100 train cars.
A good thing about nuclear plants are how clean they are and much more friendly towards the environment. About 700 tons of greenhouse gases are produced by coal plants. Nuclear plants produce a 28th of that amount, only 25 tons, and that's a huge difference. The smallest nuclear reactor in the United States, which is a 479 megawatt tower, and if it's run for an entire day, it produces 4,500 kilowatt hours. Now that can power 4 Canadian households for an entire year. So if you're not getting that much electricity, switch to nuclear. Space is also an advantage to nuclear power plants. Now with nuclear power plants, all you need is a relatively flat area and a body of water next to it. And that's really an advantage.
The problem of waste storage is more of a technological question, which will be eventually solved because technology is constantly getting more and more advanced throughout modern time. The past 6 decades have shown us that in the current years is some of the safest times for nuclear power plants. It's been getting safer and safer as time has gone on, thanks to us constantly making adjustments? What would that look like? And helping to make it stronger and safer for the workers and communities all around them. They've added in more cooling rods, more cooling water, and reinforced containment building.
The 100 nuclear power plants in the United States make $40 to $50 billion a year.
The average cost for a bare nuclear power plant ranges from about $1,900 and others showing $6,215. So there's a lot of range. And those can sound like very big numbers until you realize that most fossil fuels cost taxpayers about $5.3 trillion per year. Nuclear power plants are also important for medicine. Not only is radioactive materials used for most scanning materials, but chemotherapy is used with radioactive materials. So most people struggling with cancer will have radioactive materials brought into their body for scanning and testing and curing. Time to talk about cons of other types of energy. Because when you want to make yourself look good, it's easiest to make other people just look bad.
Hydroelectricity is expensive. Dams have been known to burst, causing property damage. It can ruin water life. Fish, frogs, flamingos, and other things that don't start with F can be ruined. Flamingos, really? Who wrote this? Oh wait, I did. Now people know that coal is a very dirty fuel because of the CO2 and other greenhouse gases, but it's actually because some shipments of coal contains large amounts of toxic heavy metals and other harmful chemicals. Coal that isn't pure has to be purified, which costs money, and it gives us a toxic sludge that's near impossible to get rid of.
Is it press the button?
Yeah, press the button.
Okay, I need to learn what it looks like when we're recording. What we need to remember is that the main problem is fossil fuels, and that the next logical step is, instead of trying to get rid of nuclear power, we should just focus on getting rid of fossil fuels. And nuclear power is the next logical step. It has good medical purposes, good amount of power, and a good amount of basically everything.